I'm really excited to introduce Tariq. And Tariq works with light workers, starseeds, and empaths on their spiritual path to help them thrive doing what they love. I love that. Through his revolutionary infinity healing modality, he is able to help his clients achieve and manifest their heart's desires with infinite ease and grace, even if they have not been able to achieve their results elsewhere. Tarek Bibi, aka Mr. Miraculous, is a facilitator of inner transformation, helping people on the spiritual path around the world transcend all their emotional and psychological blocks at their core level in an instant. Tariq is able to help people release years of pain and problems to live life miraculously. Tariq is a sensitive, gifted poet, musician, and artist, true Renaissance man there, with a commitment to helping young people all around the world become their best selves and learn to use their gifts and thrive in this new age of consciousness. He has been labeled an empath, indigo, a starseed, and an earth angel, and a light worker. He earned the name Mr. Miraculous because of the instant breakthroughs he has assisted his clients in achieving, where nothing else has worked. Infinity healing has made it possible in an instant. And it is my honor to introduce, with gratitude and with love, Tarek Bliss Bibi.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it. And thank you, Neil, for that beautiful poem and beautiful healing. And honored to be here, and really want to come here with a full heart and just a beautiful intention to co-create something magical, not just for us, but for the planet at large. Thank you. So I just take it away from here, Michelle. Okay, got it. So my intention for today's segment, that I was honored and blessed to have this opportunity to collaborate with some amazing speakers and healers from all over, is to really help us align with our ultimate soul purpose. I feel every one of us plays a part in co-creating heaven on earth, or creating the changes that we all feel in our hearts and souls is needed for our planet. So we're the ones we've been praying for. And we are remembering now that we have a say in the matter. We get to vote with our energy and money what we want into this reality. And you can look around and see all these beautiful self-sustaining communities and people living their own ways and off-grid and tiny homes and building their own foods and reclaiming our sovereignty. So there's this huge movement that's happening in the financial world, in the education world. There's the whole unschooling movement. So we're playing our part, and I'll just share a little bit about my story, just so that for those of you, I'm so used to talking where people know my story, so I'll just share a little bit. So yeah, growing up as a child, just feeling very delicate, very sensitive. My moon's in Pisces, I'm Aries cusp Pisces, so very sensitive, very delicate, very psychic, and I just had a hard time with the energies around me. Like, I thought my friend, people in class hated my guts. I thought my teachers were torturing me. I thought my parents hated me. I was just so confused. I was like, why? And also with, I kept talking to God and being like, why am I here? I'm so confused. Why do you send me to hell? Why are there demons around me? And just very confused. But as a kid, I remember when our teachers what do you want to be when you grow up? All I can think of is aspiring to be anything near, the stories of Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, just all I cared as a kid, not thinking it, just knowing I just want to have this strong connection to the divine, and I want to help humanity, right? So from an innocent place, not from a Jesus complex. So, yeah, there's many of us, many of us, all of us are really here, I feel, to play a role. And my mission is to help warriors of love align with their ultimate purpose and passions and gifts, and share them in a big way to create big impact. And I feel the universe is also using me to bridge the gap between spirituality and financial abundance, because for the last 13 years, whenever I ask my clients what they want to work on, it's always financial abundance. So my heritage in this lifetime is Palestinian and Lebanese. So I feel like every lifetime I choose the culture that's getting it the hardest. And yeah, just very heavy, very dense reality as a kid. And then a lot of traumas, a lot of put downs. I was really, you know, how you want to nurture a child and encourage them to feel good enough and worthy and loved and supported. And I felt like I didn't get the support I needed. I felt like I was put down a lot. I was bullied a lot. I just had a lot of traumas and unsafety and insecurities and, you know, not good enough, and guilt and shame was projected at me all the time. So I didn't know how to have a healthy boundary, and I just took it all in. And then I was getting, you know, I was having a hard time in school, and I was so quiet. And then, you know, eighth grade came, and I was listening to rap music and rock music, and I just shaved my head and I just let it all out. And then I was seen, but as a bad kid, I was just going on a downward spiral and got into drugs and alcohol abuse, just abusing alcohol and drugs and getting into fights and arrests and cops. It was really bad. And I remember it escalated to the point that I was like smoking a lot, drinking a lot. My friends were passed out. The sun had come up, so it's like the next day. It's the morning of the next day, so I stayed drinking and smoking the whole night, and I thought my heart was going to stop. And in that moment, I prayed and I asked. At that point, I was like, God or whatever's there, you know, please give me a second chance. I wasn't afraid of death. I was afraid of wasting my life. And I think ever since then, it's been like, what, show me my purpose, because I was getting fired from all the crappy jobs, and I never graduated from high school, dropped out of college. So I really grew up with the worst mindset in terms of self-worth and feeling good enough and not feeling like I had any role in society, and just like, you know, having so much empathy for like people who end up in psychiatric wards and homeless people, just like feeling like, you know, I get, you know, these guys, like something about what they're doing seems right to me, but I just never fit in society. I was, you know, the black sheep, as many of us are. And then after that, I just kind of left my surroundings. I'm like, leave leave my surroundings, find out who I am, find out what my purpose is. Discovered healing, created an infinity healing technique that's being taught worldwide now, and even kids are doing it and helping, you know, people with all sorts of health miracles and things like that. So I think my story is for those who feel like they didn't, you know, they're inadequate, they don't fit in, put down, not good enough, childhood trauma. And then I felt like my guidance was communicating to me at that point and saying, you got to reach out to those who have wronged you and just forgive. And it was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And so I reached out to my dad, and I'm like, I don't know why you were so tough on me, but I forgive you. And being able to hear from his perspective how his love language is acts of service. So every single time he was making me a meal or, you know, working, he never took a day off work. And, you know, I just spoke to him today. We're like super close now, but as a kid, I was terrified. And so I think part of, and what I would love to do with you guys is an actual process and just share a little bit of these nuggets that I learned on my journey, you know, integrating the shadow, clearing guilt and shame. Oh, I love your headpiece, Michelle. It looks so cool. Clearing some trauma, creating healthy boundaries, integrating the inner child so that it feels like it's a part of us and it's safe, you know, things like that. There you go. Dennis, thanks. I don't know if it's Dennis or is it Dennis? Denise? Yeah, thanks for sharing. My dad used to tell me that too. Yeah, and I think as let's call ourselves light warriors or just strong mirrors, if anyone around us as kids was holding on to, let's say, guilt, that they don't know how to release that guilt, they just transmit that guilt to us, or they transmit that shame to us, or they transmit that rage and anger to us. And I was telling a client the other day, it's almost like our parents are saying, we don't know how to deal with this. Here you go. Maybe you seem like some, you know, on some level they were aware that we had more emotional intelligence and more spiritual awareness, and I think they were doing the best they can to just pass it on to us so we can clear it. So yeah, and then I got into rap music, and like my soul brother Neil got into rap and poetry, and found that as a beautiful vehicle to alchemize the traumas by turning emotions into words and then sharing them in a poetic way, and then allowing. And when I share that, usually that's healing on its own, because people are like, "Wow, I've never been able to put words to how I've been feeling." So some of us are gifted with healing energies through our hands, and for me comes from my throat. So it's a healing that comes from sound and words. Yeah, wordsmith. So I feel my mission in life, one of my missions is to, or how I'm choosing to fulfill part of my purpose is through my gifts and talents and abilities. And my vision is, and if you can visualize this with me, is imagine a world where people from all over, imagine a world where people are fully uh, owning their gifts, talents, and abilities, sharing them in a big, powerful way, creating powerful impact on our planet, and thriving on all levels, not just spiritually, emotionally, energetically, but also financially, or whatever the equivalent we decide to co-create. Like if we decide, hugs is the new currency, then let's open ourselves up to receiving an abundance of hugs. To me, it doesn't matter. I used to tell clients, like, it's not about money. Yes, money was created to manipulate us and all that, but even if tomorrow we decide apples are the new currency, the uh, same blocks we have with money will just be projected onto apples. So, if we still have that mindset that says, no, I don't want anything, I want to give, and people are like, no, I need to give you an apple, and like, no, I don't want to take, we only should give, we shouldn't receive. So we have these like programs and about giving and receiving. We haven't really remembered how to unconditionally receive, how to unconditionally love. I think now we're invited to uh, remember unconditional receptivity. That means if someone gifts us something, we receive it unconditionally without the need to reciprocate it right away. Right? There's almost like a guilt, like I can't just receive it, right? And it's worldwide. I remember when I was traveling everywhere, like when I go, thank you so much, people go, no, thank you. So the no neglects it. It like no kind of stops the gratitude. And then thank you means like, no, I'm not going to receive this gratitude. I'm going to give it. And it's like we're all just, I call it ping ponging gratitude. Everyone's just like hitting it back. No one's receiving it. So one small step is to practice that receptivity muscle, is to fully receive it. So right now, if I just mustered up the most powerful, potent gratitude energy, and I was like, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. I invite you now to just receive that fully, unconditionally, and go and just like receive that gratitude and just say you're welcome. And by you just receiving it fully, I feel good. So you're actually doing the person a favor by receiving it fully. They feel good about giving. So if you do the no thank you and ping pong it back, you're actually robbing them from the opportunity to feel good by doing something good. Just a little small nugget of wisdom. But yeah, I feel the steps on my evolution, my kind of like the steps that I've taken to get to where I am now, where after all that, feeling like a failure and society telling me I'm not worth anything and getting fired from all the crappy jobs, and still finding a gift in healing and starting a practice 13 years ago, and experiencing abundance on all levels from it, and impacting so many people and reaching so many people, and just having the opportunity for people to want to learn my modality, and allow me to mentor them in their businesses to hit their financial six-figure goals, or their spiritual goals to align with their gifts. There's a lot of closet healers that I work with that I'm laughing at the concept of a closet healer, but it's very common. It's like a lot of us have experienced, who here has experienced just not feeling safe to be seen, right? And whenever I do past life regressions or deep healing work, it's usually we've been shunned and killed and hung and burnt and labeled witches, many lifetimes, not just one. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions about aligning with your purpose, please bring it up, and we'll do a process. And I'll also conclude with a poem. just in honor of Neil sharing poems as well. Sorry, I'm not able to read that message. Okay, so imagine with me that all of us are fully owning our gifts, talents, and abilities. We're all creating these infinite ripples throughout the infinite, not just this planet. That we're imagine a world where everyone is sharing their gifts and abilities to the fullest. Because I feel like if every person on this planet, or even just a handful, a small percentage of us, share our gifts to the fullest, we can co-create heaven on earth. We can co-create a reality that is love-based, love actualized, and love embodied, and love in action, right? So, and what would that look like? It's different for everyone, but at least it's coming from love, and that means it's coming from infinite intelligence, infinite consciousness. Is coming from source, and from God, from the universe. And that's all it takes. So if we, because a lot of us carry the world on our shoulders, who here can relate to that. We got like this Atlas syndrome where we feel we need to help everyone. But if we just bring it down to what's one thing in our heart of hearts is our like strong desire to contribute to the planet. If we just focus on that one thing, like for me, I'm so committed to spreading forgiveness, and we'll integrate that into this process because that changed my life. Like it almost killed me not to forgive, and it after forgiveness, like my whole life changed. I dropped out of college and I found my path as a healer and read all these books and went from being the class, like failure to becoming the biggest nerd when it came to all things spirituality and metaphysics and manifestation. So yeah, and with those traumas, remembering how to love ourselves, how to be gentle with ourselves, right? There's people who've been abused. There's a lot of talk on like the person who abuses us, but there's less talk about how we abuse ourselves. And our mind is ferociously vicious and just hard on us, and it's like it's so abusive. Like to think of things like overworking yourself, like work. I'm a recovering workaholic, and all sorts of addictions that I'm either recovering from or still it's at an all-time high. It's at its best, but it's still there's still some parts of me that want to punish my body. So just observing, being aware that there's an inner child in us that is so delicate and precious, and connecting with it daily and knowing what its needs are. If it needs safety, if it needs to be heard, if it needs to be seen, and asking for that. Sometimes when I'm having arguments with my beloved, I'll be like, I just want to feel heard right now. So being clear about what we need and like asking it, utilizing that gift of our throat chakra, like to be able to ask for what we want. So yeah, if each one of us aligns with our gifts and shares it to the fullest, creates impact, we can co-create heaven on earth. So let's get into it. And the way this process works, the infinity healing technique, is it's source energy or God's energy or universal energy connecting to us, doing infinite things for us so that we can be our infinite selves. And everything gets activated when you say your sacred yes. So starting now, we're activating this infinity healing that's coming from source, God, universe. And it's going to do infinite things for us, including letting go of limiting beliefs, fears, emotions, root traumas, childhood stuff, parent stuff, ancestral stuff, manipulation. Yesterday I did an implant removal, so even letting go of negative energy interferences and things like that. So would you like an infinity healing for source, God, universe, to bring our entire being back into its divine blueprint? Would you like that? Yes, and to transmute anything that found its way into our field that is not of the divine blueprint. Would you like that? Yes, beautiful. And to alchemize all our traumas so that they're being used to propel us forward on our path. Would you like that? Yes. And would you like an infinity healing to fully align with your ultimate passion, purpose, gifts, talents, abilities? To own them fully as gifts, to activate them within your being, to share them in a major way, to own your infinite value, to even charge your infinite worth if that's what your heart is guiding you to. Would you like that? Or at least to value it in a way where there's reciprocity, there's an exchange. You know, obviously there are times where we just want to give from our hearts, like in this moment, for example. Beautiful. Would you like an infinity healing to clear any of those less than love emotions of shame, guilt, blame, releasing some core fears of being seen, not safe to be seen, not safe to be heard, not safe to be in our power, not safe to share our gifts, you know, hiding the spiritual part of ourselves? Would you like to heal and transmute all of that and replace it with what's best? Yes, beautiful. And would you like to clear those limiting beliefs that you might have at the core? So limiting beliefs of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not, I need to keep healing myself, which needs, that whole concept on its own needs to be healed. Yeah, to see ourselves the way the divine sees us, to integrate radical self-forgiveness and radical forgiveness towards others, to integrate radical self-acceptance and acceptance of others, to implement and integrate radical transparency and radical vulnerability. Would you like that? Oh my God, yes, sister, that's awesome. I gotta read that. Beautiful. Radical forgiveness. I love it. Thank you. So synchronistic. Beautiful. And would you like an infinity healing? There's this part of us that needs to blame in order, like the victim consciousness within us, the mind that tries to protect us, tries to do that by blaming. That's one of its mechanisms of protecting. It tries to blame. It gets defensive. It sabotages us because it thinks by moving forward it's not safe to be out of our comfort zone. So would you like an infinity healing to help the mind work for our highest good, so that it's not stopping us from moving forward, it's actually working with us, and that it gets the upgrades it needs so that it's in its highest functioning? Would you like that? Yes. And would you like an infinity healing as well? I'm pointing here because the first tattoo I got was a DNA, infinity DNA. So would you like an infinity healing to just send all this healing, all these energies to our DNA, to our childhood, cellular memory, our mom, our dad, our parents, our ancestral lineage, all lifetimes, and also all suppressed DNA? Like we've heard how, you know, the gods kind of were like too powerful, so they tried to mess with our DNA to keep us like at a certain level, just to reclaim our divine sovereignty, divine power, to reclaim our divine freedom, to reclaim the power of our brain, the power of our minds, the power of our hearts, the power of emotions, the power of our DNA. Would you like that? Michelle, you're going to pull out a book? I thought you were going to be like Power of the Heart by Michelle Anderson. Okay, that's it. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Beautiful. And then let's just conclude with a healing for the inner child. So imagine your inner child, wherever you see him or her, and just invite that inner child into your sacred heart space, so that with every heartbeat, your inner child feels all that it desires. It's feeling safe, secure, nurtured, nourished, supported, loved, taken care of, all the things that it needs. And it's fully integrated, integrating the inner child, integrating the shadow, really embracing the shadow. I got the vision the other day when I was doing a ceremony that the shadow aspects of ourselves and our traumas are really like they are the potent compost for the garden of our soul. So the more intense you've been through stuff, the more potent your soil is going to be, which allows you to grow that sacred tree of life with deep roots and to grow a really strong tree. So beautiful. So not only bringing our being back into its divine blueprint and alchemizing and transmuting any less than love influences, but would you like to also anchor in your reality into the divine plan? Would you like that? Yes, yes, yes. Connecting to source now, and from your heart just saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Michelle, do I have time for a 3-minute poem or kind of maxed out there?
Yes, you do. You do.
Oh, sweet. Beautiful. Thank you. All right, guys, just please be gentle with yourself, even though it just felt like we did a few yeses and I just spoke really fast for, that process. Please trust that it's very potent, it's very powerful. Give yourself the nurturing and the self-care after and the hydration, earthing, time with Mother Earth. And thank you, Michelle. I'm feeling the need for that sage. I just felt there was a lot that came up. I usually sweat a lot when I feel energy's moving. So you guys are doing great. Thank you for that, Michelle. Thank you all for co-creating that. And just a reminder, it's all between you and source energy, and I'm just the middle person. I'm not doing anything to anyone. Okay, so poem. So feel free to receive this poem and allow it to activate and do what it needs to do. So I am not my thoughts, but give it up and let God guide my soul. I want it all, so I let it go. Open my arms and let it flow inside. I can't decide, so I search for that feeling inside, that feeling to guide me to that feeling that's reaching to rise. Beyond the ceiling, beyond the skies, not a limit, reach for infinite. If you're into it, in tune with it, believe in spirit like you Inuit. I used to think suicide, now I enjoy the ride. Now I get lost in rhymes, only the strong survive. Fear not. The only reason these demons are deceiving us is we've given up, we've given trust to what's bleeding us. We give our power away, we got nothing to say, bow down and obey. We're all part of this craze, all lost in this maze. And when I speak, they call me crazy. I tell them maybe, but I follow the truth, and that's what made me. Jesus Christ, I get crucified every time I speak my mind. Will we get it right this time? Because many people cried, and many people lied, and many people died, but we will get it right this time. I got a feeling inside. Get ready for a new day, a due date, a fate due to our own hate and ignorance. Just a hell of a reminder that we're blind to the truth of who we truly are inside of our heart of hearts. A collective kick in the ass to cause a spark, to illuminate, awaken, take back what we're giving away. Now we're giving away a path to wake us up from the past, to be in the now, to see it like wow, speak it like Tao. Will we evolve or will we die? Will we simply live or will we thrive? I think it's time to shine. I think we'll get it right this time. I refuse to remain a statistic, so I've enlisted in the army of love, insisted that we rise above. Father, forgive this. It's been so long since we did this. If we can give it one chance, I know that we can make a change. Let's take a stand. Move worlds with the words I command. God, tell me what to do. Tell me what to be. I'm begging you. Please speak through me. I know I came here to be, and it was destined for me, and I'm not going to waste it. Let's face it, it's basic, an illusion that we have created. Speak to me like I speak to you. I feel a change coming through. Who would have knew that what we did, we would come to undo? This is the rap gospel. And what the F did Jesus Christ die on a cross for? An eye for an eye, or to seek the kingdom of heaven inside, an affinity for infinity? Synchronistically find the keys to unlock this mystery. I could rhyme for centuries and used to be scratching your ass talking about celebrities. I got the passion, let's make it happen. I'm destined to be rapping. Find your soul and let's make it happen. Find your soul and let's make it happen. Find your soul and let's make it happen. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Indigo Prophet. If you care to hear more of my music, there's 5 albums on all streaming platforms under Indigo Prophet. It's my rap name, and that's my gift to you. And then we also created a special gift page for you guys. If you go to tarikbb.com/gifts, we've got like a DNA activation, raising consciousness MP3, abundance manifestation, powerful prayers, just a whole bunch of stuff. And I usually put out 2 YouTube videos every week just to play my part and help activate us. And thank you so much.
All right, you are amazing, amazing.
Thanks,
And
Michelle.
I know that, it's interesting to see how things are playing out as you're speaking about radical forgiveness.
Yes.
And one of the things that I'm seeing happening on many platforms and in many areas of our lives are so many of us are speaking about wanting peace on earth and unity and compassion and kindness and love. And what the universe is doing right now is asking us to model that. And it's providing opportunities for us where there's trigger events that are happening so that we can, I feel, learn to stay in our center and learn to practice what you just talked about, radical forgiveness, you know, letting go of the blame and the shame and wanting to criticize others and wanting to be seen and wanting to be heard. And it kind of played out in our chat while you were giving your presentation. It didn't it did play out in our chat. And that's why I was doing, well, it wasn't sage, actually, it was copal.
Okay.
Did a little bit of cashmere, a little bit of frankincense, you know, I you know, felt that was needed. I was playing a Tibetan bowl.
Beautiful.
You know, I just really feel like we're being given the opportunity to keep coming back into harmony. And even I was just texting behind the scenes earlier that right before we went live, I yelled at my husband.
Wow.
He came in and he was doing something where, you know, I'm in this is my bathroom. This is, you know, and he came in and he was getting dressed. I'm like, I'm supposed to go live in like 1 minute. Could right now, you know, like I hear him right now too. He's coming in and I was taken out of my center. So it's coming at us from every angle. And you know, I get on the camera and then people are saying, you're so loving, this and that. But yet I was taken out of my center and I ran downstairs and apologized.
Yeah.
You want to be on camera? You're right here with us.
Beautiful, Michelle.
So,
thanks for the vulnerability.
So thank you for bringing us back into our heart center and having us not only forgive others, but forgive ourselves as well. This is a part of this process we're in. And you really brought it, Tariq. I hadn't met you before and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to learn more about this gentleman, you know? So I'm glad I was able to stay with you and participate. And you just really brought us all back into our hearts. So
thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, I would love to connect. And
for sure. Yeah, I want to have you on our Awakening Code radio program.
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be great. I think it's time we share a lot of this powerful medicine that's coming through. This is the type of medicine I think the world needs right now, rather than pharmaceutical medicines. This is medicine for our soul. So we're healing it and transmuting it at a much deeper level.
Oh, sister.
Yeah, look at that. We got a lot of people thanking you all around the world. I
receive.
Wonderful. I don't know. Neil, are you there? Neil hasn't come back on. I don't think Neil. I'm sure you want to contribute, Neil, right now.
I'll just say like just the way that we connected, you know. Just we're corresponding through email and Tariq had me on his show and it was just the complete synergy. I got to rewatch that interview because I just remember how like amazed I was at the reflections, you know, that we had with each other. And just so many things in alignment. And I was just like, this guy is a potential brother.
Yeah, go brother for sure, man.
So like
I'm excited for a song collaboration.
Dude, I know, man. We'll if you don't mind sharing whereabouts you are and what state.
I'm coming to Mexico. I just got the religious exemption Mexico thing today, so I might be there in a few days.
Oh yeah? Well, I'm going to be living in Mexico for 5 months by the end of the year. So
beautiful.
Yeah, let's do something, man. But definitely just like complete alignment. So like your intention is so pure in what you cultivate and create, you know, and the fact that you do hip hop too and come out with it, it's really next level esoteric hip hop, you know, and those are the people I really want to gravitate towards. And Ascension Records is one of the things that I'm attempting to really take off the ground right now. And then the slogan for it is music from the next dimension, you know.
Yes.
And I feel that's what you got right there, brother. So we're going to do some amazing things together.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Much love.
Thank you, brother. Okay, we'll talk soon.